Okay, I wanted to be dramatic.
That's too fast. Oh.
Hello friends, welcome back to Premo Cooks. Today we're going to make a very delicious, tasty candied walnut, and this is a vegan version. A lot of candied walnuts have butter. We're going to use coconut oil. I have already got my coconut oil on the stove melted. I'm going to turn my burner on to a high heat just for a moment to heat the pan up. Normally your coconut oil you're going to put in there, it's going to need a second to melt. Mine has been sitting here for a minute and it's warm enough in our kitchen that it's already done its business, but we'll get the pan hot before we add our additional ingredients. Ow.
Ouchie head.
Ouchie head. Okay, once your pan is hot, we're gonna add in a half cup of coconut sugar. And you can turn the heat down to medium at this point. And then 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. So that was grade A dark maple syrup is my preference, but any maple syrup will do. And then 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. And now we're going to stir this. It's bubbling, it's hot. We just want to melt the sugar down all of the way. Once you have a beautifully integrated, bubbly sauce that smells delicious, we're gonna add in 2 cups of walnuts, raw walnuts, and then continue to stir. We're gonna stir for a couple of minutes, get them coated in the sauce, and then give them enough time in the pan too to get the walnuts a little bit toasty. You don't want to let them sit for too long. That's why you stir the whole time too, so that they don't burn. The last step before we put these onto a parchment lined baking sheet, you want to turn the heat off before you add 3/4 teaspoon of vanilla, because it's gonna bubble. The alcohol is gonna hit the bottom of the pan and make it easy to scrape off all of the gooey bits. Once you have it scraped and stirred in, the vanilla, bring it over to your parchment lined baking sheet, dump it off, and then as quickly as possible, you wanna use a spatula or 2 to spread the walnuts out. They will harden and turn into one clumpy clump of goodness if you don't spread them out. When you have them evenly spread out, then let them cool for 5 to 7 minutes until they are hardened. All right, once these little beauties have cooled, take a bite of one and sample how delicious they are. That is so good. I love this recipe so much. You can go through, and if you have any big clusters, you can break them apart. At this point, store them if you're not gonna use them right away. So we're gonna put ours into a mason jar. And then we're gonna put the rest in a little dish to munch on for the rest of today. Okay, I don't think everyone needs to see all that business. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da! Candied walnuts. What was I gonna say? Oh, honey. Let's eat some of that. Stick around. Let's talk about afterthoughts. All right, friends, just a few quick things about this recipe. It is something that you can completely change in multiple ways at home to make them how you like them. So we have walnuts, but you could use pecans or even cashews would probably be delicious. And we used coconut oil, but you could use butter, which is also really good and tasty, or any other high heat oil if you want something more neutral. Maybe you don't like the coconut flavor in coconut oil, but just make sure that it's a high heat oil. Since you're gonna have the heat a little bit high, you don't wanna break the oil down and denature it. And what else can you do? Let's see. You could add in cinnamon, nutmeg, cayenne, any kind of spices that you like to change up the flavor. It's nice to make a sweet and spicy one. It's also nice to just do cinnamon. So it kind of depends on what you want to use your candied walnuts for. I oftentimes make these for salads. So especially in fall and winter, putting them on a beet salad or a mixed green salad or something with roasted squash. It's a really nice accent because it has a little bit of sweet, but it has salty and it's really crunchy. So it's a great addition to a salad. But they're also really great on top of ice cream or a dessert dish. So they're also just great to eat by the handful. Oftentimes, if I have leftovers from something, we just leave them in a dish on the counter. They get eaten within days. They're very addictive. They're crunchy, sweet, salty, yum. Get creative with them at home. Find a version that you like. They're super fast, super simple. The only pain in the boot about this recipe is the cleanup, the stickiness from the caramelized sugar. It definitely takes a good scrubbing. So make sure you have a good stainless steel pan on hand that you can rough up a little bit and scrub when done. Lastly, if you're gonna make these and let's say you wanna keep them for a few days or a week, then like we said, put them in a sealed, tight container, but then also put them in a cool, dark place and they will last for anywhere from 2 weeks to a month. But if you just leave them uncovered, they'll just last a few days probably. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and let us know how this recipe goes for you at home, and hope to hear from you soon.
Good job, guys.
Thanks.